All right, so welcome to the exchange. So, first and foremost, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to give you my opinion on what I see in the stock markets. Looking to the left to see what has happened, then looking to the right to see what may happen. Do your own due diligence. Make sure you invest money in things you know about. If you don't know, invest in yourself and learn. That's the best way you can make money out here and have some security in these markets. So, let's look at what happens to stock markets so we can get a better idea and some security in exchange. Welcome to the Exchange Show. This week on the exchange, we're talking about something that could be a big change to you financially, and this is going to, of course, be Bitcoin. The reason I'm talking about Bitcoin is because if you haven't remembered the fundamental news about Bitcoin, we had a whole bunch of extremely rich people get their own ETFs. So why? Why did they do it at this time? Because the Bitcoin halving event is coming. So we're going to talk specifically about Bitcoin and why it is a good time for you to look and do your own due diligence into how to invest into Bitcoin. Do you need to own it to make money? The answer is no. Can you own it to make money? Of course. But what if you don't have enough to buy a whole Bitcoin? That's okay. We have ways for you to make money. The first thing we're going to do is currently look at where we're at. Okay. So if we're going to look at this, let's be very strategic about it. Here's our bottom, right? January 2023. We're going to be in a weekly time frame. I'm going to make that a solid line. So we have our outer trend line. This is outstanding. But when you get something that's really far away, also try to do a inner trend line. And the reason you do an inner trend line is because it gives you a perspective. For me, it gives me perspective. If price falls from the current area, I would look for it to bounce at the outer trend line from the inner trend line. So now I know I have this mentally. I'm ready to go. I had in my mind this area here that was 44,000 down to 40,000, which was a consolidation zone, a base. Okay, so I know I was already in the mark up. All right, I have some consolidation. Then I have this. This very last candle is why I'm happy. So that indicates that this is probably the beginning of the push, or sorry, beginning of the main push towards the halving next month, like 60 days away, but we're going to show you exactly how far away it is and how you can make money. So that is very specific to us. It's an extremely good bullish candle. It wiped out the tops of all the other candles for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. That is an extremely bullish signal. Does this matter down here in the indicator? Oh my God, I'm at the top. For Bitcoin, I'm not going to lie, it never really matters. It can push up for a good while. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking for it to most likely top out where? At its last highest high, which is 65. And we're going to talk about why I'm looking for it to reach its last highest high at 65 when we're at 48. That is almost 20,000 in difference. So it's 18, no, 20, hold on, 52, my math is not math, hold on, that's 10 plus 15, all right, so we're almost at 20,000, we'll take off about 17,000, so 17,000 difference in the current price. How can you make money? Well, first, let's look back. The last halving event was back in 2016. It doesn't matter if you missed the bottom here. This was in March of, 2020 was the last halving event, 2020. The previous one was in 2016. Even at the bottom to where it did its halving, that was 144% difference. Now you have more people and big money in it. Do you think it may go past 144%? So this was our low last year. Even if you don't count this, let's just count it from right here, October. All right, that was pretty much the last low of Bitcoin. That was around 25. So let's take an info line. Let's just draw it from here to here. This so far is 91% from October to now. Even if we just go based off of the last halving event, let's go to 144. 144 will still take you to 62,000. With more people involved, with bigger money, I'm just going to say it. It's probably going to go higher than that. So we already have a thesis. Our idea is that it's going to go up based on the halving event, which is 66 days away. And I'm currently on Watcher Guru, and it's going to be on the Bitcoin halving. So it's giving me live price updates. But my main thing is it's currently 66 days away. All right. In 66 days, could you see Bitcoin run up further? Most likely, yes. So what I'm looking for right now is the top 10 miner stocks by market cap. I'm looking at the miners because I can afford the miners. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not trying to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go based on who's in America. So first and foremost, we have Marathon. Second, we have Riot. Third, we have CleanSpark. Fourth, we have Cypher. And fifth, this one's in Canada. This is Hut 8, but I think I've already covered Hut 8 before. And then you have TerraWolf. So what I'm going to do, I'll take Canada. TerraWolf, sorry, you got cut. But we'll talk about Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, Cypher, and Hut 8. So first, let's go ahead and talk about Marathon. And I actually need to write them down. So when I look them up, we know exactly what we're looking up. Mara's first, Riot's next, CleanSpark's third. What was our last two? We got Cypher, Hut 8. All right, let's throw TerraWolf in there too. And we'll do charting on all of them. Some of them I know I already have charted, so give me a second. Let's bring our charts back up. And here we are back in our charts. So let's go with our first one. It is Marathon. There we go. Currently, Mara is at $23.89. So I do all my initial charting in the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame right now is telling me, hey, you got a high, you got another high, but we're off of that high, we're lower. We got room to run. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my favorite horizontal lines. I can already tell this is my base, putting one there. Next, I'm going to put another one. That was my last area there. And I'm doing it all based off of the information I have on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm not doing it based off current information. I want to see where historically this has had areas of rejection and support. All right, anything? Oh, let's go over here. Look at that. Oh. So if you can see, Marathon has been up there before into the hundreds of dollars. All right, so I know I definitely want one here. So let's paste one here. There. Let's see. Let's do another one right around. Let's see. There. Yes, definitely there. And don't worry, I'm going to expand all these out if you're not able to see it. And if you have any questions about when I do some charting, let me know. I really don't have any issue going over that like on a one-on-one basis or in a group. Got another one there. So that was based off of this area, this area, this area, and this area. Sorry. We got some good areas mapped out. All right, we're at our last highest peaks over here. Our last higher highs over here. Let's see. I want to put one more there. And there. All right. So currently, we are at $23.89. If we're talking about how high Bitcoin is going to go, you need the miners. The miners are the ones that's going to actually make Bitcoin go up because every time there's a transaction, they got to be mined. They got to be verified. So if that's the truth, every time somebody buys and or sells, these people are making money. All right, so with Marathon and the weekly, we have a nice, we had some markup, rejection, and now we may be starting our next phase of a run up. So don't get too excited. Why? Because you have to make sure. Because currently it looks like we're within a range of $4 and change. So if you got Marathon at $4, I know you're happy, and you're within a range of $23.69. So you may just now be breaking this. If you're not sure if you want to get in, look for it to break these highs. The last high was about $30.98. Now, say you don't want to wait, you just want to get in. Well, you just erased 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of candles with this last week. Very bullish candle. Is it a bullish sign? Yes, it is. So one thing I do first is I will go to the daily. In the daily time frame, it looks to me like we had a markup, a distribution. We came down. We met this area here. So in the daily, one thing I can do is I'll say this. I had a demand zone that was right here. Based off of these two candles here, right there, those two candles. All right. I came down, met the demand zone, bounced, came down again. I had another demand zone based off of this. Did a retracement, bounced again. All right. So if you're unsure about some things I may be saying, retracement, bouncing, whatever, it's all good. It doesn't matter if you know it or not, because we're going to show you guys here. This was our bull flag. Now, only if you're watching these things you'll notice. As you can see, I have never charted Marathon before, so I'm looking at it fresh with you guys. It came up, it did a M pattern. So, is it a beautiful M pattern? No, it's a double touch up in this area. So here is where I would have drawn a line. It came right back up here, touched that, and rejected. Came down right here to that demand pattern or a demand area, bounced up. It hit some rejection here. It said I need to come back down. I need to grab more orders. After it grabbed all those orders, it shot up. And now you have 1, 2 gaps. All right. So in the daily time frame, you have gaps in Marathon. Next, you could even just say, I want to shoot for $31. So $31 could be a take profit for you if you're looking for a place of interest. So that could be your first take profit. It could even be, if you're able to play options, you could say, I want to do a call for $30.99 or $30 or $32, whatever, and then watch price go up there and get in the money. So that's our first one, Marathon. Let's go to Riot. Now, Riot, I know I have charted. I know I've charted that because I owned Riot for a little bit. All right. So Riot, if you look, it came down, essentially did the same exact thing. Now, from what I'm assuming is that if you look at all of these, they're probably going to have about the same pattern. Now, this one had a kind of wonky head and shoulders. Kind of. I mean, it's not pretty. It definitely is not pretty. And it didn't do this. I thought it was going to do that. But then it came down here. That's the main thing I wanted. It came down, hit this demand area, and shot up again. Now, this being done does the same exact thing. You could say, all right, I'm at $14 now at Riot. I could go up to at least 17. Next here, 19, 22. Now, if I have a weekly line or a weekly support and resistance, I've already charted this, so I already know the next area of big resistance is probably going to be $22.90. These are great areas where you already know you can take profit, or these could be some of your strike prices. So with that being said, Riot was done for us already. Now, essentially, it did exactly what I wanted to do, came down in demand, and then shot up. My next one, Clean Spark. Yeah. So if you're noticing, these are all pretty affordable. You could buy 100 shares. You could start doing covered calls, whatever. Oh, I even had a Oh, volume profile here. This is a while ago. So let's get rid of that. Currently, CleanSpark is at $13. All right, let's do some charting here as well. So I'm in a weekly time frame again. We're going to talk about the base, which is, it was 96 cents, and that was back in 2020. 96 cents. Woo, baby, that is a beautiful price. No, I didn't buy it. I wish I had, though. This is the agony of charting, I guess. You can see all the stuff you missed. All right, we have our next area. It lines up there. Let's see. Definitely here. Oh, look at that. It's there. So we have to see how that's going to react to this level, this $14.70. So let's take some more time and do some more. I don't want to place that there. Do I want to place it about here? Yes, right about here. $17. Ooh, it looks ugly over there. Looks ugly. All right. Let's go about there. All right. Let's put one here. No, I don't like that. Don't like it. I do have one here I like. And remember, when you are doing your support and resistance, I'll take that one there. It doesn't have to be laser specific. These are areas. I'm looking for, reaction from these areas. So now I'm looking, I see I got $14, $17, $22. All right. Am I going up? Most likely. Once again, it's wiped out a whole bunch of previous candles. It's wiped out its last highest high. And it's essentially doing the same thing we looked at in Riot and Marathon. So we went up. We had some demand zones. Let's go into daily. Let's see if they have done the same thing. We had a gap. I said it was some consolidation there. So this gap is no longer valid. It has been filled. But we do have other gaps here. So remember, once you get up into those areas where you're taking profit, remember, there are areas where it may come back down and fill, because gaps usually get filled. It's just a question of when. It's not a question of how, but they usually do get filled, even if it seems very unbelievable. I'm not going to lie to you. And the daily, it looks like we're topped out, but I mean, hey, the strength of the market is the strength of the market. It could just say it's really strong. So let's go back to the weekly. We still have a tiny bit of room, but I do have some divergence as well in the weekly. I have bearish divergence, so I'm going to make sure I put that in the weekly so I remember that later. All right. So I'll remember that later because I'll have it on the screen. So at this point, yeah, I could still go a little bit higher, but essentially I'm only looking for maybe a couple more cents. If it pushes to 17, I'll be surprised. I'm not going to lie for CleanSpark. But remember, it's a week, so it has a lot of room to run. I would like to see a little pullback in CleanSpark just to get a little, a better entry. So let's go to Cypher. Cypher is, let's see, Cypher mining. All right. So of course, we're already in a weekly. Cypher mining is only $3. $3. All right, so we're in the $3 range. Can you make money with Cypher right now? This is going with the other miners' market cap. You probably can. So as we go forward, let's keep going. All right, we got one here. That was a rejection area. I got another one there. Ooh, that's $6.90. Looking kind of nice. Of course, that's a really good one there, and pretty much lined right up. So the reason I put this last one here is specifically because of these twin candles. They both have flat tops, so that's a good amount of rejection. If you see the last time it got there, it went right to it in a horrible rejection candle, and we came down. So here we go. We got one more we're going to put in. That's going to be here. All right. So now that we've pretty much, that was at 40 cents. Jeez. All right. we pretty much said to ourselves, we have rejection up here at the $4.98, aka just say $5. At $5, this has been rejected. If you see it pop out at $5 area, look for it to go to about $7. After that, you got a lot of room to run. You could probably say, I would like to see it come up to here. And that would be essentially $9.90, almost $9.87. That's a big jump. And of course, it's all-time high. All-time high was $15. But I would rather see it come, because I'm very conservative, I would like to see it come to that $13.58. So if you see it pop out of here, that $5 range, you could jump to that probably almost $10 range almost off the bat, because it's probably going to go right past this $6.90. But be careful. Just watch it. See what's happening. It seems like it's in a tight range between that $5 and that $2 and change. So it may go up and come back down. That's for Cypher. So with that being said, let's go for HUT 8. HUT 8 is our next one. All right. Ooh, I did chart this before. I thought so. Now, I thought it was going to come down to this $4 range. All right. So I thought it was going to come down to this $4 range. It hasn't done that. It's back up to the $8 range. It stayed within these two parameters, $6.43 and the $9 range. So right now it's in this small range. I would love to see it come down to $4. That'd be great. But let's go ahead and mark it up, because it seems like I just did some quick levels on this one. So let's do, of course, we're going to do there. That was our last highest high. We're going to do here because we have a lot of rejection from this area. We're going to do, what else we're going to do? We already did that one. Leave that there for now until I move this over. Okay. And that's already marked there. It's already marked. I'll go with this one based off of this candle, that candle, and this candle. So I have an area of rejection and support there at about $28. Of course, if you really want to, shoot for the stars, you can go for 77. At some point, HUT was 77. When was that? That was in 2021. All right, and of course, we'll go for another peak here, and that's $45. So during these Bitcoin halving, if the Bitcoin is going to be running up, so will the miners. All right, so think about it like this: $1.88 was the price. Yeah, there we go. $1.88 was the price in March of 2020, and then in May it shot up to $5.69. That was the last halving. So let's see the percentage on that just for this one. There we go. Start there, $1.84. That's just due to the body of the candle. That was a 200% increase. So if anything goes the same, this halving event has started. We're basing here. We're not even, like on the miners, if you notice, some of them haven't even started running yet. So let's go for our last one, which is Wolf, Terra Wolf. All right, so this one, we're going to go here and we're going to say, wow, this is at $2. And this has a pretty good market cap as well. Yeah, so yeah, this is flat. This is flat. Okay, yeah, okay, so let's go. Oh, that was actually pretty nice. Not bad for just pasting that. All right, here. Actually, I'll move it up for the latest one. About there. Then I got another one. Actually ain't doing too bad for just pasting it by itself. This is actually hitting some of the levels I want. There. And here. And here. Of course, you're going to do the all-time high. Let's just take it to there. And we're going to have one more. All right, so there's our support and resistance. We're currently at $2.20 for TerraWolf. Leslie, did it even go back in 2020? 2020, January, February, March, April, May. This one seemed pretty flat during the last halving. Depending on how much this one's being used, how much TerraWolf is being used, I personally wouldn't even look for it to go pretty much any further than probably $9 to $10. And even then, there's another area right here. The closer you look, the more you see. Maybe that $5.98 for TerraWolf. So, of course, you have your biggest ones, Marathon, Riot, and Clean Spark would be my first top three to look at. We've charted all of them so far in this. And remember, you have about 66 days until the halving. So you have 66 days of run up that is expected, but is it going to be seen? That's the thing. So that's my take on the halving event with the miners. So if you can't buy a Bitcoin, you could probably buy some mining stock, and that could give you a good run up as well. So thank you for taking advantage of the exchange this week. Learn how to wait for the win. That's all I'm going to say. Learn how to wait for the win. And we'll see you next week on the exchange.